Thanks for checking in on the State of Basketball Podcast, episode 104. I'm Adam Miller, and I'm here with Jaren Will each and every week, and we are going to be bringing you the news and notes on all 11 Division I schools in the state of Indiana, because in 49 states,
it's just basketball.
2 weeks in a row we're here, and we have to compete with one of our best friends, a team in Indiana. So if you're here live on Sunday night, Evansville is still playing down in the Virgin Islands. They're down
the U.S. Virgin Islands,
Sorry,
to be specific.
The U.S. Virgin Islands.
You don't need a passport. Did you know that?
I would assume not. I mean, it's like going to Puerto Rico. Like it's
yeah. They just have a bunch of posters up on the game, like in the arena, that say you don't need a passport.
I
like every camera angle shows that.
We're here, and Evansville still playing. I think they're down 8, so obviously we'll probably not be talking about that game because it will still be going on while we are talking about Evansville for our recap. But
unless we take a really long time,
unless we go out of order, like we did that one time, but
we will forget to go back to Evansville. Is the problem?
I would never forget Evansville.
I mean, I wouldn't forget them.
Mm-hmm.
I would just realize after the fact, oh shoot, we didn't talk about it, and then it would be.
But we're here. It's feast week. We're kind of in the heart of it. It's like a 2-week thing, like it's a beautiful thing is what it is. And so we're here. We're talking about.
Some would say feast weeks.
Sure. Sure.
But Adam hates me.
Well, it's like 2 weeks of MTEs, right?
Yeah.
They used to call it like, I don't know, the gear up to feast week or some word for like the week before. But we have seen MTEs. We have seen many MTEs. I even downloaded the Mountain West app to watch
IU Indy.
Yeah, in Air Force today. So
I was very pleased that I could just go to the website and watch it from their website.
Just for free. Just for free. Take notes, everyone. ESPN and YouTube TV.
Yeah.
So we're here. We have seen a couple MTEs. A couple of our teams still have MTEs to play next week. We'll talk about those things when the time comes. But right now, I think that there's no better place to start than how we always do, and that's with our power rankings presented by Crow's Nest Coffee Roasters? ?
We're still not sure, but we'll throw it up there. I think we still have a code.
We're in contract disputes.
You could try it. Yeah, we're like YouTube TV and ESPN. So what we'll say, you get 50% off every order using promo code TSOB. If you go to Crow's Nest Coffee's website, there's a link in the description, both on YouTube and on Spotify or Apple, right? Anywhere you listen to audio versions of the podcast, there's a link there. It's probably a little hard. You have to copy and paste versus if you just go to the YouTube bio. There's also a link in our Instagram, our social media, our link tree. And if you're on Twitch watching us there, you can do !TSOB. It'll that command will give you a link to the website and to order coffee. It's it's colder now, the season of cold, and I don't drink much coffee during the summer, because I drink energy drinks, right, to get my caffeine intake. But when it is cold, nothing warms you up in the morning like a good cup of coffee, especially if it's Crow's Nest coffee. So go ahead and use that promo code to get that great stocking stuffers as well. We are heading into the holiday season. But anyways, let's get into the power rankings for week 3, right? So number 11, we've got Southern Indiana. They were there last week. They're still struggling to get things going. A lot of turnover with that team. They're trying to figure out, I think, themselves a lot. So they're still down there at the bottom. And number 10 came as a shock, I think, to both Adam and I on how this season has gone thus far. But Purdue Fort Wayne is sitting at 10th. At number 9, we've got IU Indy. They did move back one spot from last week, and PFW moved back one spot from last week as well. That's largely because we had a few teams jump up. Talk about those in a second. At number 8, we've got Ball State. Again, another one of those teams that did move back a spot there, largely because Evansville jumped up quite a few spots. They're playing really good, right? They're really showing what they're made of. A lot of these games, they're competing hard. They've got more Division I wins than these other teams, and that was a key factor as well in these rankings. Not a lot has changed in the top 6 from last week. At 6, we've got Indiana State. At 5, we've got Valpo. Those two stayed the same. The big shakeup came a little higher up on the list, but at 4 we've got Notre Dame. They moved back one spot. At 3 is Indiana, also moving back one spot, both of which largely because Butler bumped up from 4 up to 2, where they are this week. We looked at the resume. Adam and I debated it for several minutes, really, to figure out, okay, is this right? And I think we felt that it is. They do have a better resume than both Indiana. Last week we talked about how Notre Dame and Butler were really kind of 3A, 3B, right? But definitively after the week that Butler had, they deserve so jumped up to that second spot. And then, of course, at number 1 is Purdue, just competing, playing as they're the best team in the country, according to AP voters.
And us.
Yeah, and us, right? Some metrics websites will have them lower, but again, those are metrics, not the eye test, not you see the product on the court. We've seen it, and they're good. They deserve to be number 1, both in the power rankings and in the AP polls. So those are our power rankings. We do have posted the graphic on our social media channel as well, so you can see that. We've got a TikTok and an Instagram handle of Adam walking through those. Not as well as I did, but hey,
Teach their own.
Yeah, can't win them all, right? He does his best.
It's for the people with short attention spans, right?
Yes.
But I think that what you said about Indiana and Butler is we talked about it for a long time. That was our longest discussion this week. Is like Indiana is better by the metrics or whatever, but like Butler does have a loss, right? That was a big factor. It's like Butler does have a loss, but it's against a good team.
Yep.
And so it was 2 points is a coin toss, right? That could be either way. That could easily have been a win. And then the Virginia is not as good of a win if you use a different computer ranking system, which we do not. We use Torvik, so it was like a top 30 win, which is more impressive than anything Indiana has done on their resume so far. So like we felt that was pretty appropriate. And then getting wins is important. If you don't have a Division I win, we cannot move you up, really, is the only thing. So I just want to see like Butler above Indiana was like surprising, but makes sense based on everyone but UConn, St. John's, and Butler in the Big East kind of being bad apparently.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how that pans out as the Big East. And you brought it up. Like I was ready to pencil in the top 6 being the same, everything being the same. Every team is competing well. Like none of them took any major losses, right? Deserved really to be in those spots in my head. And then when you brought up the Butler thing, I was like, okay, yeah, let's talk through this. And I pushed back only because I wanted to make sure that like we really were on the same page and looked at the numbers, looked at the data, looked at what was in front of us to say, okay, what have we established over the course of these power rankings? Resume being the big one, right? And ensuring that we are on the same page when it comes to their resume, so that we can present that to you all as our listeners, to really comprehend what, why, and how we determine these power rankings. Again, it's boiled down to Butler has played better opponents to this spot in the season, right? Indiana hasn't played many teams. Marquette is just not good.
Yeah, and we'll have even more data. Like it'll be even tougher if Indiana wins. It'll be an even tougher discussion once they play Kansas State. But we'll
and
see.
Louisville and Kentucky too. Like there's Indiana does have those big opponents that if they win or compete well, then who knows? Like we said, like a lot can change. This is only week 3. We do 18 of these technically.
Yeah,
19 really.
Semester, we do.
Well, really, we do 20. We do our preseason.
Yeah,
then we do our postseason. Yeah, so our total of 20 power rankings. We're only in week 3. This is our 3rd power ranking of the season. A lot has changed so far, as you've seen. A lot of teams have jumped down, and that's going to continue to happen as teams play other teams. That's just the nature of what we do. But what we also do,
it's fluid.
Yeah, what we also do is bring you the news and notes of all the 11 Division I teams in Indiana. Let's start that and begin with Ball State. Again, we're men of habits and we've got simple minds, and we go alphabetical order. So Ball State. They are presently ranked 248 in Torvik. That is down a couple spots from 241 last week. Did go 0-1 this week. They're 2-3 overall, but they took a loss to an in-state opponent, Indiana State. So they went down to Terre Haute, played Indiana State, lost 70-52. What do you got from that game? What were your takeaways there, Adam?
I was really like ready to like watching this game. I was ready to talk about how like Ball State impressed me because I felt like the defenses of both teams were really good, and I felt like Ball State was really not letting Indiana State get the shots that they wanted, especially from deep. And then that lasted about like 25 minutes of game time. And then Indiana State just like they couldn't stop them. It didn't happen exactly like Indiana State started to go on their run.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Lewis got a technical, and then they I don't know if that changed the momentum of the game. Like that got the crowd into it, and the team fed off Indiana State fed off of that. But like Ball State just didn't ever recover from that. Indiana State ran away with the game, and they didn't shoot it well, and
Yeah,
they couldn't recover from the run that Indiana State went on.
I mentioned it last week that they shot up last week in their games, right? They
Ball State.
Ball State, yep. Shot a lot of threes, at an abysmal rate, right? They terrible from deep. We saw that again this week. And I just think that that's the big thing for me is like this is probably a closer game if they realize, okay, maybe let's not shoot a 3-pointer. Let's go for a 2. Let's attack the rim. If they need to, pull up for a mid-range, right? Do something that's shoot the ball from anywhere else on the court that's not outside the 3-point range or a 3-point line. I think this is a big thing for them. I mean, they looked like Indiana the last few years in IUPUI when it comes to shooting threes.
Back.
Right? Like throwing it back all the way back to some historically bad 3-point shooting teams. And that's
our
just
first season, man.
Yeah, that's just what Ball State has felt like to me. And it pains me to say that as my alma mater, but I like Michael Lewis. I'm sure it's obviously no credit, no.
You have more credibility to say it, right? Like
yeah,
you care, you care more, you know.
Exactly. Well, that's anything else on Ball State? Ready to move on to Butler?
No, I mean, I feel like it was just that run. Like,
yeah,
they played them pretty even, except for that run was kind of the thing that killed them. Butler had a very good week, like probably the second best week that we've seen, maybe for any team. Maybe the second or third, because like this was a week that got people talking about Butler. They moved up from 75 to 64 in Torvik. They went 2-0 this week. That brings them to 4-1 overall. They won against South Carolina in the what was this one called? The
Greenbrier tip-off.
Yeah, Greenbrier tip-off. They beat South Carolina in the home state of South Carolina 79-72, and they won against Virginia 80-73. And my biggest takeaway is that like they responded to the SMU loss. The SMU loss was something that we were like, you are going to look at this and be like, we really needed this win, depending upon how the next couple of games go. And they responded, and they responded in a positive way where they were like, okay, we lost that game. Let's go get the next one and the next one. And they did that. So really, really impressed with just, the bounce back from that. I feel like last year's team didn't kind of have that. Like it was like, oh, we lost this game. Played UConn, lost by single digits. Go out, can't win the next one or whatever. It was the close loss after close loss. Or Butler this year, they did it. So I feel really happy, and this is why they are number 2 in our power rankings. They had a really good week, a really good MTE showing.
Yeah. I mean, I mentioned Jamie Kaiser last week, and we talked about him too. He's as advertised. He's everything that we've talked about he would be for this team. I mean, in the South Carolina game, he had 14 points on 5 for 5, like perfect from the field. 7 boards, 3 steals. He had a career high 10 rebounds against Virginia. The thing that I love the most, and as you know, I've talked a lot about rebounding when it comes to Butler. They won the rebounding battle against UVA. Pretty sure they did as well against South Carolina. Yeah, they actually did, because they've rebounded all 6 of their opponents this season. Both Butler and Virginia entered that game in the top 10 nationally in the rebounding margin.
Wild.
Uh,
Imagine saying that last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible. I love it. I know obviously there's more to basketball than rebounding, but it is a very important aspect. Something that Butler struggled at, and I think held them back in a lot of games
You
over the
get
last
more
few
shots
seasons.
when you grab the ball. You know what I mean? The more you have the
Exactly.
ball, the better your chances
Exactly.
at winning are.
Another interesting thing too is like Butler scored 80 or more points in every game this season,
Mm-hmm.
which is great. Didn't say that a lot last year. It's also the first time this season that Virginia was limited to less than 80 points, which is crazy to think. You say like
Virginia scored
Virginia scoring less than 80 points.
Yeah.
It's like, duh, it's Virginia. Well, it's not. It's just new Virginia. This is not Tony Bennett, Virginia.
This is Ryan Odom's Virginia. I almost called him Barry Odom. It's Ryan Odom's Virginia.
Yeah, like Butler, did everything that they needed to do, and they look phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the South Carolina game got a little bit dicey at the very end when Jamie Kaiser fouled on a 3-pointer at the end, but then they missed the free throw for the 4-point play intentionally, even though they were down like 5, which is kind of silly, but they ended up closing that one out. The score was not really as close as like the score suggests. Like they won basically. It felt like they won by more than that. And then the Virginia game, I mean, other than it being the ref show for most of it, Finley Bizjack was incredible. Even though he couldn't hit a 3, I was like watching the game. I was like, dude, he hit like 2 threes in a row, and then those were all his threes, and he shot like eight of them or something, 10 of them, and he missed 8, but he went 9 for 18, dropped 25, and he's just cooking. And Ajayi, 6 games, 6 double doubles. Does he go for 33, 34, 35, however many games they have?
I would not be surprised if he did.
I don't know what the record is. It's probably like Sheboy or something, like in a row.
Or Edie.
Yeah. Although, maybe. Probably, yeah. It's probably one of those two guys probably has the most recent one.
Or Ballo? No.
No. But like the thing is like Edie, if they're blowing somebody out.
That's true.
And hitting all their shots, like what rebounds was he going to get?
That's true.
But I mean, I'm very impressed with Butler. I think they look really good, and I saw a lot of people talking about Butler on social media, just like, okay, they are in the mix for like 3rd best team in the Big East. And I was like, that's correct.
Yeah,
it's St. John's and UConn, 1 and 2, flip them however you want, and then I think Butler is in that next group.
Yep. Let's move on to Evansville. They are
still playing.
Yep. You beat me to that, Adam. So they 232 rank. That is up from 236. They are 1-1 so far.
This week.
This week. They're 3-3 so far overall. So they lost to UT Arlington 84-76. They won over Oregon State 73-69. A live score update. They're playing Akron, where they are up 50. Sorry, they're down 43-52. So, unpaid intern wrote the wrong MAC school. So that is a large up. The latest update. They're battling hard. We'll see. We'll give you a live score update once the game ends. When we're later on in the show. But UT Arlington game, Adam. What do you want to talk about?
Let me find my notes real quick. I apologize to everyone at home.
I know you were very passionate about it.
No. No. I'm very upset. Like,
passion is a form of to express
the team
your
is
feelings of being upset.
Supposed to be a good defensive team, right? And like that was their best defense in the Missouri Valley. Last year they had
defensive player of the
year. Like, they should be good on defense. Well, when you let the team that you're playing shoot 62% and make 50% of like their threes, and then also not rebounding, like you can't win. Like, we talked about this just the last team. Like, when you rebound, you put yourself in a good position to win, right? Like, you're playing hard. It shows that you're playing harder and you're trying. That didn't happen. And this game was at home, and they shouldn't have lost this game.
What was their rebound margin?
35 to 17. 17 rebounds is crazy.
What's crazy is they won the second chance points category 18 to 13. If they just rebounded better, they were already converting on their second chance points at a 50% rate. Like, just rebound more.
There were only and there was only so few. There was like not even that many rebounds because they were hitting everything. UT Arlington. they were shooting 60%, 62%
to get the offensive rebounds.
Something. Come on, man. Oregon State though.
Say what you want about Oregon State, but this was a huge win for them. We don't know what Oregon State is. They're not in the Pac-12 anymore. Do they suck?
Legitimately?
Maybe, probably.
What conference are they in? Are they in the WCC this year?
I think so.
Are they in the Mountain West? Move over?
Are they in the Mountain West?
Dude, I don't know, man. There's like some weird.
All I know is it was a complete team win. In that Oregon State game, you go ahead and what other notes
something Ragland would say, in the after press conference.
Hey, me and Ragland no ball.
Bryce Quinnett was probably the best player on the floor when he was on there. Like he was. I heard him described as like a spark plug, and I'd agree with that. Like he just got things going. When he was out there, the team felt like it was moving. It was playing well. It looked like they were trying to give this game away in the end, and they ended up not doing that. They closed it out and went 1 for 9 in the last few minutes, but they closed it out, and so. I'm proud of them. I think that, this is like a top 150 team, Oregon State, that they beat. So well above where they are at 232. And a pretty good win. All things considered. But
a complete team win, as some would say.
Somewhat people would say, really. People are saying.
People are saying.
People are saying that.
But to confirm, Oregon State is West Coast Conference.
Okay. I think they're
I was pretty confident in it.
I think they're in the WCC, but then they're like moving to aren't they moving to the new reorganized Pac-12? We don't have the time for this. We'll do this off air.
Right now they're in the West Coast Conference, and that's
today. That's all we're considered with.
Yep.
And you know what? That's not even a Indiana team that we're looking up. So
nope.
Trade them.
Or Maryland Eastern Shore. All right, so going on to Indiana, IU. Indiana University. Torvik rank 27. That is down from 26. They got up as high as 25 this week and then moved down a couple spots. So they are down on the week. They went 1-0 this week. They're 5-0 overall. They had a win over Lindenwood, 73-53. I don't have much to say about this. Just ignore Lindenwood. Just forget what their rank was.
See a W on the schedule and literally move on.
Yeah. No, I literally wrote a win is a win. The team has to learn from it, and then I wrote Lamar's kind of broke right now. So that goes
Lamar
back.
Wilkerson.
Lamar Wilkerson, yeah, not the school Lamar.
The school
Lamar Wilkerson.
Lamar, the school can't afford to stay in D1. They're moving.
No, but that goes back to my previous point of learn from it, figure out what needs to go on, adjust, adapt, learn, and just do better as we move forward.
That's all I want to. Nope.
All right.
Don't even want to speak on it.
Yep, not much to glean from that. So now we go on to Indiana State. They're 221. That is up from 240. They did go 2-0 this week. They're 4-2 overall. They won over Louisiana Tech 60-51. They won over Ball State, as we mentioned, 70-52. Interesting thing for me was that through the 5 games, so this was after the Louisiana Tech game, Indiana State's the 60 points they scored was the lowest scoring total this season. Lowest team total, 2014.
Which sounds right because like last year they scored a lot of points too. Mm-hmm. Obviously they scored a lot of points under Josh Schertz, but like they scored
11 years, lowest in 11 years.
Like Josh Schertz's first year, they were not good. They could still score though.
Yeah,
they could still score. We lost my favorite nickname in the state of Indiana in this offseason. I'm trying to coin this. Ian Scott, the machine. He's just a machine, man. He's leading them in like points, rebounds, and assists, like or something. He's leading them in like every category. He's a double machine, just like Ajayi.
Do we only have nicknames for Indiana State players?
No, Purdue Fort Wayne is the hardest working man in America.
But that is an expired nickname.
Mm.
I'm saying active nicknames.
Camp Swagner.
Camp Swagner.
Bro, Camp Swagner and the Machine is a fire band. Fire. They went triple platinum with no features. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. That's actually sick now when you put it together like that.
But like Louisiana Tech, I mean they shot atrociously and they still won at home. I have confidence that when they go play at Louisiana Tech in the Louisiana Tech MTE, that they will shoot better and then win that game again. Ball State, I mean, this game was like a breakout game for multiple players. St. Bernard, incredible last name, first of all. He had 8 points and 11 boards. And then Van Bogenhout had 15 points. Love that they just call him Yo. Like like that's pretty funny. But 15 points, just dudes off the bench, just coming in and showing that like this team is deeper than people realize.
Another breakout, Marcus Harding, 1,000 career point.
Yep.
Got 1,007. Yeah, and Bogenhout I just had a career night across the board, every category.
Yeah.
Set a career high, which is sick. The team also had season highs in a few different things against D1 opponents, right? Not factoring 33 points off the bench, 38 points in the paint, 15 points off turnovers. Another thing that was interesting to me, this was after the Louisiana Tech game. They saw a non-negative turnover margin for the first time this season against Louisiana Tech, and I think
they did it for the second time.
Yeah, against Ball State,
right?
Yeah. No, it was tied. So it
so
was
non-negative 0.
True.
Listen, I told Miss Remster that -0 was a thing, and she told me no. And then I took calculus the next year, and then Mr. Dici was talking about -0, and I was like, hold up a second, I'll be right back. I gotta go talk to somebody.
But that to me is just a good sign that Graves' defense is starting to shine. The defensive approach that he talked about, he's very defensive minded.
Mm-hmm.
They just had to become more of a defensive based team.
Yeah.
In addition to their offense, and I think that's things starting to click a little bit. So that's all I really wanted to bring up about Indiana State.
Yeah, let's talk about IU Indy. They went from 349 to 3. They went from 342 to 349, so they went down a little bit.
I love that when you and I give the Corvic rankings, you always go last week, this week. I go this week, last week.
You know, and that's why we're together, right? It's like the olive thing. Wait, do you like olives?
I do not like olives.
We got to break up. I don't like olives either. They went 0-3 this week. They had a pretty unfortunate week. So that brings them to 2-6 on the season. They lost at Charleston Southern 103-91, and then they have this I don't know what the MTE was called, but they played Alabama State. They lost 101-80, and then they lost to Air Force. It
was like an Air Force
MTE. It was like just called like the Air Force MTE or something.
Yeah.
They lost to Air Force 98-85, and you know, these were games that like every single one of these games that they lose is so up and down because of the style that they play, where they will go on a run and they'll be down 17. And then, you know, if you're doing multiple things at once, multiple games, you're like, okay, I'll be right back. And then you check it and you're like, they're down 4. You're like, awesome. Then they're down 12. And it's like, it's so, the best word that I can describe it with is volatile, right? It's just very volatile, the way that they like, and that's the way they play, right? Very helter-skelter, you know, like.
Yeah.
And I think that, in my mind, part of the reason for that is the system. We know the system works, right?
We've seen it.
Yeah, we know the system works. The system is very successful. I think that it's just bigger, more athletic players that they're playing against, and that's become the biggest hiccup, because like these are some lower level, I guess, a different level of players, different division, I would say. And I think that, you know, the size and the athleticism is a little bit of a struggle this year.
Yeah, and I mean, I was a couple things on that, right? To me, in the Charleston Southern game, they at least turned the ball over 4 times, which to me, great sign that the system is working, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is what the system is supposed to be, because they forced 17 turnovers, it's a 4-7 turnover margin. That's what it should look like. I think that we've seen glimpses of it. I was scrolling through college basketball Reddit. There was a thread titled "What are the most innovative offenses you've seen this season?" And one of the most talked about offenses was the system.
Yeah,
was talking about the offense that Ben Howlett runs with IU Indy that he ran at West Liberty, and just how electric it is. Right, and one of the things people talk about was like, yeah, it works. It's just right now, people actually mentioned this, like they're just playing with true freshmen and former D2 players.
Yeah, and
like
guys,
that just
and guys who haven't run the system, like it's not.
Yeah, and that goes into the true freshman part. Like it's just
If anyone could run the system and be successful with any players, everyone would run the system. Because why wouldn't you? Why?
Right.
The most enticing thing to a player is like you're actually going to get a lot of rest and you're actually going to score a lot of points.
Yeah.
Like we're going to be scoring above 100 points. Like I don't know, there's something in like my dumb monkey brain that sees like a 3-digit score and I'm like that's good.
Yeah.
Like, that's like watching, going from like the college to NBA is like, ooh, Pacers 130. Shoot.
Yeah.
Like, that looks nice. So I think there's something in there that like makes you want to do that. And I am fully bought in. Like I'm fully bought in on this team. And, I think it's going to take some time. Again, the Horizon League season is going to be different. And I think that they're going to shake some things up, and maybe it'll be a next year thing where they get more players at the level that they want. And he did get his job very, very late.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider. But I mean, 0-3, no one's more upset about that than Ben Howlett. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Let's move on to Notre Dame. They are ranked 68, down from 62. They did go 1-0 this week. They're 4-1 overall. They got a win over Bellarmine, 86-79. I texted Adam this during the game, but it feels disgusting watching Bellarmine play now. Just because we've known Bellarmine for so long to be, they don't dribble. They, off-ball movement, passes, finding open lanes, taking open shots. They every time the ball was touched, like they still have some glimpses of that.
Yeah,
but every time the ball was touched, they were dribbling.
It's like a flex system between. Well, it's Scott Davenport's son right now.
Yeah,
it's the Davenport 2.
Yeah, and I was kind of hopeful that like he'd keep it in the family, but obviously with a new coach, like things are going to change a little bit. I miss the old Bellarmine, but we're not here to talk about Bellarmine. That was just an observation that I had.
Bellarmine. Never dribble Bellarmine. Straight hard cut Bellarmine.
That's give it to Camp Swagner and the Machine.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Ghostwrite for him. My biggest takeaway was, even though they won, right? Notre Dame won. They just couldn't keep control of the ball very well, and they had way too many turnovers for comfort.
You better get it out now because you better play Kansas next week. You better. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything about Rutgers because they lost at home to a Doogie team, but if you don't let Bellarmine go 9 for 9 like down the stretch,
yeah.
To go to 7.
Speaking of Kansas, I think Kansas just had an injury to a player that's not going to play next week.
Darren Peterson, their best draft prospect, could go number 1. He's been out forever.
Yeah, but they confirmed that,
that he's not going to come back.
That he's not going to come back yet. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about last week and Bellarmine and Notre Dame. What were you going to say?
No, I mean you better. You better.
If you're gonna turn the ball over, turn it over against Bellarmine, not Kansas. Yeah.
I mean, like, if you beat, never mind. No, I'm going to talk about it now because this is, why not mix the two sections, right? If we're talking about Notre Dame, let's talk about Notre Dame. You're playing Kansas next week in Players Era Festival. If you get that win, you're gonna beat Rutgers. God willing. God willing.
Yeah.
You're going to beat Rutgers. So, like, if you win, and you don't rest on your laurels, and like, Shrew says, hey guys, like Rutgers sucks, but we got to beat them. You're 2-0 in Players Era Festival, and then you're in. I don't know how many teams can go 2-0. To be honest,
the format still confuses me.
I think it's just like pool play. It's like it's just like a group play, right?
Yeah,
and then they take the best records, and then they probably handpick what's the best matchup, Yeah. But like you got to win that game and then just beat Rutgers, and then you're 2-0, and then you feel pretty good. But let's talk about PFW. They're our next team. They went down a little bit here from 223 to 238 in Torvik. They're 0-2 this week, and that brings them to 2-5 overall. So this week they lost at Utah, which is a Big 12 school, in case you didn't know, 85-77. Hey, man, my mom doesn't know the Big 12 teams.
That's
especially
true.
You might not know the Big 12 teams because they've changed so much.
Got 20 of them.
Yeah. The Big 10, the Big 12, both are lies.
Well, they both are.
Pac-12 is 0.
they both, all three of which are lies, but they don't have 20. The Big 12 has 14.
I think so. And then they lost at St. Louis in a true road game, 91-60. And this is one thing that we talked about, is like back when we started the show, we met with Coach Kaufman, and he was like giving us ideas on like things that he thought would be like cool that we could do. And we are inept, and so we have not implemented any of them, unfortunately. But one of the things was like have coaches, like 2 coaches come on and like, not like duke it out, but like, give them things to talk about and have them like discuss and
race debate.
Yeah. And one of the coaches that he brought up was like Josh Schertz, who was at Indiana State at the time, and was like, I'm friends with Josh. I don't play Josh. Like I would do it with Josh, right?
Yeah.
And I have to imagine the fact that they're friends is why this game was played. Because if Josh Schertz doesn't know Kaufman, no way is he inviting PFW in, knowing who Kaufman, like how Kaufman coaches and the teams that he's had.
Yeah.
Like no way.
It's a trap.
Yeah. It's 100% a trap game.
Yeah.
I mean, look at,
Well, I will just say, like, St. Louis' team is getting top 25.
Yeah.
This is a much better St. Louis team than we've seen in the past. Obviously, gave Schertz some time to get things rolling down there. That's always normal, right? So, like, there's no debate they're good, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little disappointing to see this large of a margin. To me, 31 points is a lot. But it's Kaufman does what Kaufman does, and he schedules tough opponents. And he's just using this as whiteboard material at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of what this season has been so far, at least I hope it is, because this team makes me sad. It's sad to see them struggle like this.
Yeah, I just don't think that this is like a win the Horizon League this year roster. I think that he is such a good coach and has such good retention that, like obviously some of the pieces are going to be gone. Like they don't have eligibility anymore.
Yeah.
But like if you can get Hadnot back next year, like I think that this team can be really dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
They have, I don't know if they, of the mid majors, they obviously have the strongest schedule so far. Like this is absolutely insane scheduling by Kaufman.
Right.
It is so tough. Like just looking at the teams that they've played this year. Okay, they've played 2 non-D1 teams, but then they played 90th Grand Canyon, 22nd Ohio State, true road games. Then they played at Western Michigan, who's 241. Then they played at Utah, who's 104, and then at St. Louis, who's 63. PFW is ranked 238 right now. Like that is insane scheduling. And
yeah, it is.
Like obviously, like the record is not going to look pretty, and our power ranking of them does not look pretty. But they're gonna, if they can keep their morale up, they're gonna look, good coming, come Horizon.
They're gonna be battle tested for sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Especially because like Akron looks very good in the MAC. Like that's a team that's like similar level ish. Like that's a team that they could go on and beat. When they've gotten there, and like we've seen Cleveland State play Valpo. Like I think that PFW could handle Cleveland State. So, I don't think that they're gonna go 6-12 or how if they play 18 games. I don't think they're gonna go like 6-12. I think that they're gonna be fine come Horizon League time. But yeah, man, he's really really testing his team, and had not has been very good. St. Louis, I think, was a bit of a tough game. Just all around. I mean, just all around. Like they shot 20% from three.
Yep.
That's good scouting.
Yeah.
Talk about Purdue.
Let's go to Purdue. They are 4 in Torvik. That is up from 7. They are 2-0 this week. They went 6-0, or they are 6-0 overall. They won over Memphis 80-71, and they won over Texas Tech 86-56 to win the
Baha Mar, one
Mar,
of them.
Yeah.
One of the Baha Mars.
Yeah. So the Memphis game, right? Big takeaway. Memphis played pretty dirty, which in turn I think
that game was like the only way you can describe it is a rock fight or like a junkyard fight. Like,
yeah,
it was crazy.
It was. I mean, Purdue had several TKR fouled out, then several other players in foul trouble, which is definitely not normal. To have that many fouls for a Purdue team. So like the playing dirty part for Memphis, definitely, in my opinion, caused Purdue players to retaliate in turn a little bit. So it was very uncharacteristic.
I don't remember the dude's name, but the dude who fouled out when he got the technical because he was, they were banging in the post with Clough and he got knocked. He flopped and then got back up and was like getting in Clough's face, and it's bad when like the announcer's like, I'm just happy he didn't swing on him. Dude, come on.
Yeah.
Come on,
yeah,
dude.
And
he was like, I don't know. That seems like a standard way to guard someone in the post. As someone who's guarded someone in the post, that seems pretty normal.
Yeah.
Like he didn't just all of a sudden weigh 5 pounds.
Speaking of Clough, though, I do feel after this week we saw it fully back and doing his thing. I was skeptical of Clough in the early couple games. He just did not look great. Obviously, moving up several levels in terms of leagues is going to make an impact, right? Getting your your feet under you.
The Summit League, right?
Yes. I really feel that TKR's presence has really freed Clough up a little bit and had a much more positive impact on Clough's. I've said free twice, but his freedom to do his thing, play his role,
as many rebounds,
yeah, and just absolutely, do what he was as advertised. Because I was ready to say that he was a bust. That was a concern for me, for Purdue, because he's a big part of.
Yeah, he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be the Lance Jones of this team, right?
Yeah.
Like, the guy that was the missing piece, right? That's, they were missing a guard that could handle the ball and break a press and get a shot up. They brought in Lance Jones. They were missing a guy who could rebound and be a true center and to free TKR up to be the 4.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, if he's not producing and he's not grabbing rebounds, where are we? And then TKR came back and was like, oh, no, they're fine.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah. It was almost like Clough was trying to do too much, and they just didn't have the right pieces into the puzzle. That's Matt Painter. That is Matt Painter. The dude is a wizard. Of like, he's got what he needs, and then every year someone leaves, that puzzle piece is removed from the puzzle.
Yeah,
and then he's like, okay, I know exactly what I need. Boom, let's go grab it, insert that back in. And when TKR was out, that was just a piece that was missing. It was like, it was like when you try to shove a piece in, it's like, this is kind of the same shape. You try to shove it in to like make it work. So it's like, oh, same color, same shape. Like it should go here, but then you realize it's just wrong.
Yeah. Or like when you're coloring a picture and you only have red, orange, but you need orange. And you're like, it's close enough.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. And that's exactly what this is after, seeing the domination that they had.
Yeah, it was really cool when we had Raphael on this offseason, and he was talking about just like every Purdue team that you look at is just like this guy is this guy. This guy, like this guy is this guy. Like Purdue, it is like Purdue. It's like okay, there's Edie, there's Haas. There's
Yeah.
always someone. There's whoever it is. Like it's just boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna find a player that fits the system that I run, and he finds it perfectly. And sometimes he misses one piece, and they finish like third in the Big Ten. Oh darn.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been awesome, and like I think I didn't look and see where it was in a Torvik spot because the more popular one is the rankings that I won't talk about. But their defense moved up significantly after the Texas Tech game, which is the reason that like, hey, if Purdue doesn't win the national championship, why? Defense was what it was going to be, and their defense looked really good. I mean, they went on a 20-0 run in the middle of their 31-3 run.
What do you have it up? What
I have it right here.
What's their defense currently sitting at?
Their defense 31st. So
it moved up like 15 spots since before the Texas Tech.
Yeah,
it was almost 50 before the Texas Tech game.
Yeah, it
49
moved up. So what day was that game?
That was on Friday.
Friday, the 21st. Okay. So their defense was
I think it was like 49 to 46.
Interesting. Okay, so if you look at just from this season, they had the 10th best offense and the 119th best defense before that game. And then if you take it until today, they went up to the 62nd best defense just from this season. That's excluding everything else. A lot is what that means.
Yeah. But I think they were like ranked 49th or 46th defense in Torvik before that game. And then coming out of it, obviously they're 31. So definitely are seeing their defensive ability come together. Let's move on to Southern Indiana. Wrap these last few schools up. They are currently 322 in Torvik. Last week they were 313, so moved down a couple spots. They did go 0-2. They are 1-5 overall. They had a loss to Incarnate Word, 87-81, and they lost to University of Illinois Chicago, 84-73. Incarnate Word game, they gave up a 28 run to start the second half.
Yep.
And that really just kind of put the game on ice. Speaking of ice, the second half. And similar to Ball State, like I mentioned, is getting some of those possessions back, and you're just chucking up threes to chuck up threes. I think they went 0-12.
They let themselves get dug into a really deep hole.
Yeah.
And then they're some of those back catch up.
Yeah. Definitely would like to. And I think similarly to the UIC game, is they just finding consistency. They give up too many runs. I think they gave up several back-to-back pretty big runs. Where like they'll give up a run of double digits, and then they'll go back. They'll come back and get like 7 points back or 8 points back, but then they give up another run of double digits, and then they get like half of that back. So, I think their big thing is just finding consistency, figuring out their identity, really they've got great players. They're incredibly athletic. They're good. It's just, again, just everyone performing at the same time. My bad.
For audio listeners, we were both sitting with both of our hands on our head, elbows out, And then I looked at it in the screen, and then looked at Jaren. I'm like, okay. Ismail Habib did make the all MTE team. All tournament team. I don't know what they call it here, but he was one of the 5 best players in the tournament according to the people. He had 21 in the first game. I don't recall how much he had against UIC, but they got down 20 against UIC. They got down 16 in the second half against Incarnate Word, and then fought their way back. I mean, lost by 11 and 6. So they have fight in them, but they just gotta not fall apart in the middle. Is what I want from this team. They got a good opportunity to prove it. To prove themselves on the road next week against this next team that we're going to talk about, which is Valpo.
Yeah. I think just the last thing was that middle 20 minutes that they struggle with the most.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when we talk about with Evansville, where it's
Good half,
either
bad
good
half.
half, bad half. And we saw that now, just to give us another live score update on the Evansville game. It is a lot to not a lot. 88 to
88-56
56
from
presently.
32. They're
So
down like 8 or 9 at half.
yeah, another tale as old as time. But Valpo, they are currently ranked 249, up from 274. They went 1-0 this week. They are 4-1 overall. They won at Cleveland State 90-75. That means if you're keeping track at home, they are our Hickory Team of the Week. This is the big thing to me, right? This is the first time in at least 2 decades that Valpo has had 3 20-point scores in a regulation game. They did it last year in an overtime game, but this is regulation. In 40 minutes, 3 scores with 20 or more points. They were doing it 3 men down, too. 3 of their highest minutes and typical scores, right, did not play it. They were out sick. They just come out and they said, we got you. And just balled out. 3-game winning streak, 4-1 overall. First time since the 2019-2020 season.
Doing this again, man. Come on.
Where they are 4-1 over the first 5 games. The 90 points they scored, the most on the road since 2017. And then Rakeem Chaney became the first Valpo player with 23.7 assists in a game. Ron Howard had 25 and 7, 2005. They also just absolutely dominated the offensive glass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just destroyed. We're pulling down every miss. More than likely, they were bringing it back and giving their team another shot. So, definitely Hickory Team of the Week worthy performance out of.
Seeing 3 people out of your top 8 is like a, okay, that's a scheduled loss type of game, right? Like, it's just like, all right, whatever. Like, we've been good at home. We lost to Kentucky as expected. They could have just phoned this one in, but Powell and staff are just so invested, man. It was just like, hey, we're undefeated at home. We have an opportunity here to go knock somebody off in their building. Like, let's keep this momentum going. And they haven't played like a super tough schedule, but like they played a level.
It's a good team.
Yeah, they played a schedule like at the like rankings of where they are, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that they're like the 3rd or 4th, maybe 5th team in the Valley right now, based on record,
overall record, yeah.
And like, that's impressive. Like, they could have phoned this one in, but like Chaney, I think one of the most electric, one of the best guards. I made a video about it. Like, one guard that you haven't heard of is Rakeem Chaney, and he's doing impressive stuff. I don't know how Roger Powell keeps finding these guys, or who on his staff
diamond in the rough
doing this.
Guard or player, diamond in the rough player.
They're on pace right now to have the go 3 years back to back with the NBC Freshman of the Year.
Yep.
And like, don't forget that Cooper Schwieger was Freshman of the Year and then Most Improved. Like, they're like, you're the best freshman, but you're also the guy who grew the most in year 2. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
Like, that cannot happen ever. I mean, Chaney's just so good. Sean Tupuola had 21. Justice McNair had like 12 or 14 off the bench in the first half, finished at 21. Just like, seemed like, hey, man, I got this. Like, they were just bodying them. It seemed like Cleveland State just could not get in the lane. Like, they just wouldn't let them in, and they were just handling them no problem. And I think Cleveland State thinks they got punked, because the way that they walked into this building and won was huge.
Let's move on to Adam's favorite segment every week. Chitwood Player of the Week. Adam, where's yours?
Our Jimmy Chitwood Player of the Week, week 3, is Finley Bizjack from Butler. They went down and played in South Carolina in the Greenbrier MTE. He had 18 points against South Carolina, 25 points against Virginia, and he is just the guy that, he's the straw that stirs the drink of Butler. Like, he is the person that's going to get people going. He's going to, have this team continue to like compete at a high level And we saw that, if Butler's going to make the tournament, it's going to be because Finley Bizjack wants them to make the tournament. He was incredible, and I just think that he's got people talking. He's got people talking about Butler in a good way, and I think they're firmly on the radar, top 3 of the Big East, and Finley Bizjack just really, really showing people that, like, this Butler team's for real, and he's for real. And so, the week they had and the numbers that he put up, I felt like he was very deserving for Jimmy Chitwood this week. So Jimmy Chitwood goes to Finley Bizjack. And, I'm excited about Butler, but, man, we got some more games to talk about this upcoming week.
Yeah.
The big one we talked about earlier is Notre Dame tips off. So Notre Dame goes to the Players Aero Festival in Vegas. They're going to be playing Kansas in the first game. That's at 3:30 p.m. on Monday. And then they follow that up the very next day on Tuesday with Rutgers at 1. So Rutgers is pretty bad. They're underdogs to Kansas, and then they're favored against Rutgers. I think they should be looking to go 2-0 in that if they're trying to show that they're legit.
And then we also have, speaking of back-to-back games, got back-to-back-to-back games
Yeah.
for Ball State. They play the 28th at Monmouth. It's an MTE, but they're the away team to Monmouth. Not that it matters too much in this scenario. That is 2 p.m. They are two-point underdogs there. Then the next day they play on the 29th. They play at 4:30 against Lafayette. They are dogs there. And then the next day on the 30th at noon they play Lemoyne. They are 5-point favorites. So it's an absolute grueler of a.
It's brutal.
Yeah, it's brutal. That's a lot.
The day after Thanksgiving too, right? Like it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like you got Thanksgiving, and it's like, all right, get running.
Yeah, for real. So those are definitely big games. And then one other game that I have circled, kind of earmarked, is just the Indiana-Kansas State game. They are 10-point favorites. It is in Assembly Hall at 8 p.m. on the 25th. But after last game, the Lindenwood game for Indiana, even the Incarnate Word game before that, things were looking a little dicey.
Mm-hmm.
The games were way more close than they probably should have been. So I think this is an opportunity to just really see what Indiana's made of. I think it's the best opponent they'll have played to this point this season. So it'll tell us a lot about this team, what they are realistically going to look.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, like I said, this will be something that really gives us like something to deliberate on.
Yep.
For the power rankings. We buried the lead here on Wednesday at 3:00 Eastern. Southern Indiana is traveling to Valpo. Valpo's 8-point favorites. Valpo has a lot to play for to keep their record perfect at home. Southern Indiana has a lot to play for because they need to get a win. TBD if we'll be there. We're trying to make it work. I'm trying to make it work. Jaren can make it work. I'm trying to do my best. We'll see.
At this point, I don't know. I got to take the day off.
Oh, you don't have Wednesday off?
No. You didn't say anything, so I didn't take it off.
I don't know what's gonna happen. All right,
he Dono-walled me. It's internal conflict. We won't air it out on the show.
But that's a big game. It's obviously the in-state game of the week, and then another one that I'm just looking at is Purdue Fort Wayne. They host Chicago State. They're 8-point favorites. I think that they really need this game. Yeah. This will be a morale boost. Like they won at home against some non-D1 teams. They need to get this game to beat a Division I team and really like show like, okay, those losses were not for nothing. We learned a lot about our team. Now let's go out and win.
Now
really
let's
all I got.
Widen the lens and talk about last week in the other 49 states. Wild thing to me was that Troy played really well last week.
Yeah, they beat San Diego State in double overtime, 108-107, and then a lot of people missed it because it tipped off at 10 p.m. because it was at San Diego State, and then they followed it up on Thursday. That was on Tuesday. On Thursday, they followed it up at USC.
Triple overtime.
With the triple overtime that they lost the ball. Ball got stolen in the final seconds. Buzzer beater for USC. They lost.
Half-court buzzer beater.
Yeah. 107-106 in triple overtime. Like, that's crazy. Troy was gonna be in the Hall of Fame for that if they had won that. That would have been awesome. Also on Tuesday though, the Champions Classic happened. Kansas lost to Duke. That one wasn't really interesting. I mean, it was like the closer game, but whatever. Michigan State though embarrassed Kentucky. Like, had Mark Pope like saying like I'm not doing a good job, like looked depressed in the post game. Like, it was kind of sad. It was kind of sad, but
it was like the Kenny Payne. He tricked me.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, Mark Pope has never played Tom Izzo, and it showed. Like,
Yeah.
it showed that he had never played Tom Izzo before. And relevant though, because Jeremy Fears for Michigan State, he's really like risking Braden Smith's like leading the Big Ten in assists this year. He's a threat to that. He's averaging 10.4 assists. Braden's averaging 8.7. Jeremy Fears does not score as much as Braden does, but Braden has had a couple of games where he hasn't put up great numbers. And Jeremy Fears has been pretty consistent on the assist front. Obviously, he's averaging almost 2 more assists. So that's something to keep in mind. The race for who the best point guard in the Big Ten is actually more interesting than you might think at the beginning of the season.
Wednesday, Arizona beat UConn in Stores. Got 2 top 10 wins already between Florida and UConn, and they also have the win over 15 at UCLA. So Arizona, someone brought it up 2 weeks ago on our show in the comment or in the chat. They said Arizona #1 team in the country. We don't feel that way, but they're up there.
Yeah, people were saying that after the UConn win too, and this is after Purdue played Memphis close, and then Purdue said nah.
Yeah, and then I will say, just to circle back to Evansville, final score 97-59 Akron. So Evansville did go 1-2 this week. They're 3-4 overall. Wrong part of the episode, but wanted to make sure we got it in there.
Thursday, did you see Connor Esigian got punched in the back of the head by a New Mexico player?
Yes.
And
did Connor Esigian deserve it?
But then he posted a picture. He chipped his tooth.
Yeah.
He was holding the part of his tooth, and he's like, "Well, that's new." It's like, I don't know that he got the kid got a flagrant 2. I feel like he should be ejected. Like, it was not. It was like in transition. He just came up behind Connor Esigian and just clocked him right in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Egregious.
That's like some shit. Friday, Texas Tech beat Wake Forest on Thursday on a buzzer beater, if I'm not mistaken. And then Wake Forest beat Memphis on a buzzer beater. Shout out Miles Colvin for hitting the shot. Miles Colvin was doing his damnedest in that Wake Forest Texas Tech game. He wanted to play Purdue. He knew it was on the line. He was willing that team to win. Then unfortunately, Texas Tech ran a really weird play that was very unorthodox. And then it got the buzzer beater. And then Wake Forest said, "Well, this play works." Ran a very similar play. To get the win there. So that was great. There was a dude on Twitter, and I saw it on Reddit as well, that said if NIU beat Loyola Chicago, he would run as many miles, the largest league. He ran 20 miles, damn near a marathon, right?
He ran. I myself am a runner. I respect that. I've put something like that into the ether, but it never manifested because it was all on Purdue. I was like, I'm so confident that Purdue is going to win this game. I'll run how many miles they lose by, and then it never happened. But like, respect to the guy for doing it. Like, that's a lot. 20 miles is a lot. So respect for him for doing that.
Couldn't be me. And then also on Friday, BJ Edwards for SMU, a triple-double, and their beatdown of Arkansas State. Triple-double with 24 points, 13 assists, and 10 steals. It's the first ever triple-double in ACC history with steals.
It's crazy.
I wrote it down just because, like, that's crazy. And then I saw that it was the first ever in the ACC history. Like, this is even crazier. That was pretty sick. And then on Saturday, It's just a sicko scenario in women's basketball. Did you see this?
I didn't see this, but I
Uh,
love whenever this happens.
so Wichita State played Cal State Bakersfield. Before the game even started, Cal State Bakersfield got a technical called on them for, as the PA guy said, failure to present a starting lineup.
What does that even mean?
I
they didn't put it in beforehand?
I guess, which didn't realize that was a technical foul. Because I was wondering, it's like, can you just not tell the other team who your starters are?
No.
Apparently not. It's a technical. So Wichita State had a 1-0 lead before the game even tipped off. They did have an opportunity. They shot 2 technical free throws, went 1 for 2. But then I'm pretty sure Wichita State won the game. Just wild to see that. Like, oh, it's a 1-0 game.
I love whenever that
before
happens.
the game even started.
Embarrassing that they missed a free throw though.
Yeah, especially when the game's quite literally just not on the line. Zero pressure.
Yeah.
Game hasn't even started.
Something ironic about your school being named Temple and your players and coaches or staff or whatever are betting on your games, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's peak irony.
Well, what's crazy is like all the stuff that's happening there, and the head coach got an extension. Like, I saw Rothstein tweet that he got a 2-year extension, and I was like, how? He's letting this stuff go on underneath him. And I don't know if maybe that extension got voided because it happened right before the stuff came out, but the school had to have known he was under investigation.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe they didn't like him.
And this was a fake Rothstein tweet. Could have been.
John Rothstein.
Could have been. Like, yeah. I don't know, but I saw that.
It's easy to get bamboozled these days.
Either way, like the whole scenario with Temple is just bonkers to me.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty crazy.
I don't know. I mean, just next week, there's a lot of MTEs. There's Players Era Festival. We're not going to walk you through. We don't have the time to walk you through all these things. Just know that Notre Dame is playing it. They're playing Kansas. I mean, you've got everybody in this thing. Like, you've got Tennessee, you've got St. John's, you've got Iowa State, you've got Auburn, you've got Oregon, Alabama, Michigan. Like, these are all, these are teams
Baylor,
that are
Houston.
Yeah, these are teams that are going to be a problem.
Oregon.
And this is like the biggest thing I want to talk about. Is like, this is becoming the spot to be. They're expanding to, I think, 32 teams next year, and it's killing Maui and gonna kill Battle for Atlantis, I assume. And the same, like, not kill it, they will still happen, but it is hard to get to Maui. It takes a long time.
Yeah.
It makes you tired. You have to schedule very differently.
It's expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive. But it's like an awesome experience. Like, it's such a cool thing for your players to go do. It's like, it used to be like, it's the NCAA tournament is what you wanted to be in, and then below that, like, the next coolest thing was the Maui Invitational. It's no longer that way because the Players Era Festival is like, we'll give your team $1 million to come. And then if you win, we'll give you $1 million more. And then they just said, I don't remember, what was it, $250,000 or $25,000 for the leading scorer on each team?
I think it was 2,500.
25. It's a lot of money. It's more money.
Maybe it was 25,000.
So they're smartly using money as an incentive, and so, like, obviously this is automatically going to be the thing that every team is going to try and get into. We'll get into some, like, logistics on, like, what if Oregon and Michigan are 2-0? Like, can they play each other? I assume yes, and this will count as a non-conference because of the way, Kansas, Iowa State, and Houston, all Big 12 schools.
Yeah, Baylor too.
Yeah, so, like, how's that going to work? I assume it'll just be, they'll just count as a non-conference. They've done that before. I just think they're going to stop caring and say, you know what, we're just all doing it for the $1 million, and I respect them for it. But it's sad because Maui is losing its luster as exhibited by this year's Maui field.
Yeah, I mean, this year's Maui field, we got Seton Hall, NC State, USC, Boise State, Washington State, Chaminade. Chaminade being in there is always just
every other year.
I know, but it always just throws you off.
Mm-hmm. Imagine you go 0-3 and you played Chaminade. Washington State good.
Arizona State and Texas. So still a couple big schools there. But also those big schools, if they expand Players Era, Texas is going to Players Era.
Yeah.
That USC is going to be in there. But, like, maybe even Seton Hall. So like it definitely loses its allure a little bit, but I still think Maui is one of the coolest, kind of like you said, one of the coolest MTEs that there is. It's one of the most historic in my mind. It's just one of those things that like
Mm-hmm.
that used to be and maybe
Yeah.
it's just us being like,
No, I mean it just is. It just is that way because like it used to be like you would look at the teams who were in there and it's like, okay, one of these teams is winning the national championship,
yeah,
and that's
right.
usually
I
how
think
it
it's just
went.
like maybe that's just us being old fashioned in that sense. Is like we want Maui to be
Yeah,
and
just because it's so
it's just
cool.
not as much anymore.
Yeah,
But
like this is the first year it's really taken a hit. Like
yeah,
last year had a really good, like Purdue won Maui last year.
yep. And that
Uh,
kicks off on Wednesday, by the
yeah,
way.
and then Battle for Atlantis is even down too. Like it's Western Kentucky, Vanderbilt, VCU, USF, Colorado State, Virginia Tech, Wichita State, St. Mary's. Like the best teams in there are St. Mary's, Virginia Tech, and Vanderbilt for sure.
Yeah.
And then everyone else is just kind of there. But a non-MTE game there is UConn, Illinois in MSG at 12:30 on Friday. That's an interesting game. I think both of these teams are really good, and I think the last time, is it the last time? No, 2 years ago when they played in the NCAA tournament, they were in MSG, Illinois, and they went on the 0-30 run against UConn. That was 2 years
Yeah.
ago. It was
Yeah.
crazy. They've since played in MSG, I believe, but
Yeah.
got to exercise some demons.
And then so that's Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, just tune into Players Era Maui Battle for Atlantis. There's games going on
Mm-hmm.
all those times, all those days. So, yeah, that's time for guess the game. Score update or record update. I am 1-2. Adam is 1-2. We both just
Well, if you've tuned into the show before, that's how it goes, man.
yeah. But this is the week where I get a win.
All right.
But I give
think,
you the clue first.
I
this
guess
time.
first this time.
Yep. All right. So week 3, guess the game that I have for you, Adam, is Battle of the Founding Fathers in the Commonwealth.
Battle of the Founding Fathers in the Commonwealth. I want to say VCU is Virginia Commonwealth.
Battle of the Founding Fathers.
Mm-hmm. Is it okay? Like George Washington's D3, isn't it? Battle of the Founding Fathers. In the Commonwealth? Um I don't think I'm gonna get it. How many founding fathers?
There's only a few. You were on the right path with George Washington, a school named after a founding father, who they are in the A10. They are Division 1. You're on that vein, in the same vein, in that line. Not many, but I'm looking for 2 of them.
Yeah. A10?
This is
George
I'm saying
Mason?
George Washington's in the A10. That was
Are
me
they
saying
really?
that. Yeah, George Washington's Division 1. A10.
Oh. What was I thinking of? Washington and Lee University.
I believe so. That is what you were.
Okay, George Washington and who'd be the other one? Jefferson. I don't know if there's a Hamilton. That's a good question. John Adams. The Commonwealth. I'm just gonna say George Washington and Richmond playing.
Oh. James Madison at George Mason.
Okay. Why'd you say George Washington?
I was
Isn't he
confirming to you. I was saying you're on the same lines as that.
Okay, that was confusing.
My bad.
All good. Because I was like, George Mason, I know. George Washington, I don't
and
know.
it's in the Commonwealth in Virginia. They're James Madison and George Mason are both Virginia-based schools. They're playing in Fairfax, Virginia, located. So there's, like I said, there are a handful of colleges named after
George Mason.
George Mason was a guy that
author of the Virginia Declaration of Rights, a delegate of the Constitutional Convention. Not important enough for me. He wasn't in Hamilton. That's all I know.
That game, James Madison at George Mason, is Saturday, November 29th at 2. So I apologize for misleading you on making it seem like I was confirming George Washington was one of the schools.
George Washington is D3. George Washington is D3 for sure.
Oh, I looked it up, bro.
George Washington is not a D1 school. They gotta be D3.
No, they're in the Atlantic 10. They just lost to McNeese State the other day.
Crazy.
They're also 5-1. That's where Maurice Creek went after he transferred from Indiana.
All right. All right.
I also used George Washington as a clue last year.
Hey, man. I can't remember last year. All right. You ready, Jaren?
I am not. Yep.
All right. For my college basketball trivia, I have chosen a haiku. So here's a haiku. Can you guess the college basketball game? Near Spider-Man's home, a guy named Kyle shouts "Wahoo!" because the Mets won. Can I repeat that for you?
Okay. So, Spider-Man's from New York?
Maybe.
Yeah, Spider-Man's New York. Okay. Guy named Kyle makes me think Kyle Guy played at Virginia. Is it where he coached at? I don't remember where he was a coach at. I think.
He's on the
but he's now
boom right now.
Now he's in the G League. But Wahoo is the Mets one.
Let me read this to you line by line.
Yes.
Near Spider-Man's home, a guy named Kyle shouts "Wahoo!" because the Mets won. I'll tell you, each team has 2 clues in this.
I struggle with that. But, I mean, is it St. John's, Virginia?
You're close. It is Virginia.
Yeah, it wouldn't be St. John's because they're in Vegas.
You want to take one more guess?
Yes, please, if you'll allow it. I know
the second line.
I kind of hoed you over.
A guy named Kyle shouts "Wahoo!" They're the Wahoos. Virginia's the Wahoos. Kyle Guy, obviously. You're missing the other part. Near Spider-Man's home, a guy named Kyle shouts "Wahoo!" because the Mets won.
Like the New York Mets, the baseball team. That is how it's spelled, though,
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Capital METS. Because the Mets won.
So Virginia and Georgetown?
No, Georgetown's in DC. Near Spider-Man's home, Spider-Man would be from Queens, which is also where the Mets play.
Oh, okay.
So their stadium is in Queens. So the game is Queens at Virginia. That's 4 p.m. on Friday, November 28th. thought you were going to get there. I thought that the Mets clue would be enough to lead you back into New York. I know you don't like the Mets like that,
but I didn't know where they were located.
Yeah.
And I just fumbled it by saying Georgetown.
Yeah, and I didn't know if you would know like JFK and LaGuardia, both in Queens. Didn't know that. I've never been in New York. But I have played Spider-Man on the PS4.
I've been to New York a lot. I don't know the boroughs.
Yeah, I think pretty much everything. Queens is the big one.
Yeah. I don't know the boroughs like that. Did not know that the Mets were in Queens specifically. Didn't know Spider-Man was Queens. I knew New York. That was the extent of my knowledge. I've never played any of the Spider-Man games since Spider-Man 1 on the PlayStation 2.
It's a good one.
It was a long ass time ago.
But
I like that. I did like that format though.
Sure.
I'll never make one like that, but
okay, we'll get there. One of us will get to 2 games.
Which one did your
She got Queens immediately. Got Queens immediately.
Okay.
My wife
it's because she knows Spider-Man.
She guessed. I guess. I don't know. But she guessed Spider-Man. I don't know if she's assumed that he was from Queens, but she guessed Queens, Colorado, because a guy named Kyle thought it was a South Park reference. Like, that's fair.
Oh, okay.
That's fair.
That's fair.
You obviously don't know. I was like, you don't know the Wahoo or the Kyle guy. Like, she didn't know the Wahoo. Obviously, I knew she wasn't going to know.
What did you do with Virginia? It's just purely off of a guy named Kyle.
Yeah. Yep.
That was.
I threw the says Wahoo, and there's like a one. I need more syllables, but
yeah, right.
Just so you don't, miss it.
But then I started second guessing because I wasn't making the Wahoo connection. I didn't make it first in my head. I was like, well, he coached at Nevada for a little bit, but he wouldn't. No, it wouldn't be Nevada. Cool. Well, the clock is showing quadruple zeros. Time for us to get out of here. Thanks for checking in on the State of Basketball podcast. We will see you next time. Remember, 49 states.
It's just basketball.